In Cosmic Year 1, humanity, amid the boundless cosmos, established a home in the Allure galaxy. Thus, the Cosmic Empire was born. In Cosmic Year 128, some humans migrated to the Nizir galaxy and founded the Glory Federation. Two forces stood in opposition for hundreds of years. Meanwhile, the Kalsi galaxy gradually rose to prominence during this era. Under external threats, the Sanctide Court, bound by an ancient faith, also saw its authority in the Empire grow with each passing day. I think that's where Kalsi. Okay, that's Silas. I'm pretty sure this is Raphael. And so, in the Cosmic Year 649, a new power struggle began to unfold under the reign of the Empire's Empress. It's 9 p.m. In the morning, the rising melody resounds outside her window and wakes her up from her dreams. In the Cosmic Empire, only male rulers throughout history have enjoyed this treatment, but as the Empire's future empress, she rightfully deserves it. Once the song ends, robot attendants serve pre-meal morning tea. The head housemaid begins her morning briefing.
폐하, 대관식을 위해 준비한 축제 함대가 마지막 확인에 들어갔습니다.
Your Majesty, your coronation ceremonial fleet is waiting for the final confirmation. If she hasn't been crowned yet, right? Because this is a coronation ceremony, then she's not technically your Majesty yet. I'm just saying.
의전부서에서는 오후의 축제 때 궁전 근위대가 입을 의복에 관해 의논할 예정입니다.
The ceremonial officials will discuss the court guard's formal attire this afternoon.
또한 황실 연회장은 이미 준비를 마쳤습니다. 폐하.
Furthermore, the royal banquet hall is ready. Yes, it's gonna be around 11 a.m. for you. In the middle of sipping her drink, she pauses. Then she puts down her teacup and uses a silk napkin to dab the corner of her mouth. The scripts have arrived?
네.
Yes, Your Majesty. The image on the floating display changes. It reveals an interstellar bard from centuries past. A bard? This is one of the Empire's traditions. Every ruler has performed in a play at the royal palace before their coronation. Oh, so she has to perform? That sounds kind of familiar. This symbolizes the Empire's glory and the ruler's artistic transformation from a mortal to a national symbol. In other words, their will shall become one with the Empire's destiny.
폐하의 본부대로 이번 연극의 목록은 모두 저명한 성간 음유 시인이 각색하여 제국에 전한 극본에서 골랐습니다.
As you requested, the plays for this performance were all selected from scripts adapted by famous interstellar bards and brought into the Empire.
연극 축제는 2주 동안 진행되며 연극의 남자 주인공은
The theatrical celebration will last 2 weeks, and the individual who shall play the leading actor? The holographic image switches to the banquet hall. Surrounded by nobles, two people dance together.
대관식에서 폐하와 함께 첫 번째 춤을 춰야 하는 상대이기 때문에 선발에 엄격한 기준을 적용했습니다.
Since he will also share the first dance with you at the coronation ceremony, the criteria is very strict. A robot brings a silver tray with 5 distinctly styled invitations.
폐하의 지시에 따라 의정관이 최종적으로 기준에 부합하는 귀빈 5명을 선발했습니다.
As per your instructions, the officiant has selected these distinguished guests. They meet the requirements.
그분들 모두 폐하와 함께 첫 번째 춤을 추고 싶어 하십니다.
Oh, we get to pick. All of them would like to have the honor of sharing the first dance with you. 5 candidates. None of them is to be underestimated if they can stand out in the entire galaxy. After all, this dance represents not only the Empress's favor, but also a binding of power. Whoever stands by her side will see their faction unite with the Empire and ascend. They shall stand above countless galactic forces. Looking at the exquisite invitations before her, she reaches out. Her fingers glide across their cool surfaces adorned with letters. Then her hand stops on... All right, time to pick. It's Zayne. I'm so glad I don't have to think about it. It's always easy for me to pick. With the coronation ceremony fast approaching, she sits on the throne in the audience hall. She listens to the ministers report on various imperial matters.
폐하, 대관식 행사의 절차 확인이 끝났으니 마지막으로 폐하께서 검토해 주십시오.
Your Majesty, the coronation ceremony procedures have been finalized. You only need to do the final review. She glances at the projection, then her gaze settles on the area directly in front of the throne. Ah! Wow, that's a nice fit. Grand General, what are your thoughts on this play?
폐하의 분부대로 하시면 됩니다.
I shall follow your majesty's orders. Ever since she decided to perform in this play, the leading actor has consistently remained silent. It's impossible for her to gauge his true feelings. The empire she's about to inherit is far from peaceful despite its appearance on the surface. And Zayne, her former preceptor and now the increasingly powerful imperial grand general, is the most immediate threat to her. Interesting, then, that she would pick him. I mean, I picked him, but... I'm excited! Since there are no objections, all of you are dismissed. Grand General, stay here. All the ministers except Zayne take their leave. However, one young minister is rather dense.
폐하, 대관식 축제 기간에 이러한 연극은 불길한 징조가 되지 않을까 염려스럽습니다.
He's rather dense is funny. Your Majesty, choosing that play for your coronation might be seen as an ill omen. Is that so? She responds with a slight smile and taps the throne's armrest. Tell me why it's so inauspicious. What dire fate does it supposedly foretell?
이건 그게 남자 주인공이 권력을 쥐고 있으면서도 주군의 억압에 불만을 품고 결국 꿰매 빠져 주군을 시해하는 반역의 길을 택하는 내용입니다.
Jesus Christ, MC is facing this head on, isn't she? The leading actor in the play already holds great power but resents the throne's authority, so he's manipulated into choosing the treasonous path of regicide. The Crown of Doom was adapted by a mysterious traveling bard. It's a tale of power and royalty. Returning to the palace, a triumphant knight encounters a witch who prophecies that he will become the future monarch. The flames of ambition are ignited in his heart. He is driven to murder the current king and claim the blood-stained crown. However, power seized by force is destined to be reclaimed. Before he can savor the fruits of victory, the knight is struck down on the very throne he has coveted by another noble and their sword of judgment. Oh, so you're questioning the Grand General's loyalty to me? Do you think a play can influence our relationship? She speaks to the minister, but her gaze is fixed on Zayne. Ever since she began ruling in her own right, the relationship between Zayne and her has grown increasingly tense over the years. It won't be long until her coronation arrives. She needs to witness Zayne's true intentions, which is precisely why she selected this play. Yet he didn't betray any emotion as she had hoped. He acts as if her subtle and at times overt tests weren't directed at him. The young minister suddenly comes to his senses. He breaks into a cold sweat before fearfully excusing himself. Finally, Zayne and she are the only ones left. This is a nice bit.
폐하께서 다른 분부가 있어서 나를 남기신 건가?
Are there any remaining orders from your majesty? My coronation will soon be upon us. However, there are still details in the play that must be discussed. Why don't you accompany me for a walk, Grand General? I wonder what the story in the card's gonna be like. They stroll along the palace colonnade. I've never heard that word before. Wow. Dappled sunlight and shadows rest on the ground. On the one side of the colonnade stands a single tree. Although neither lush nor leafy as the others, it still stands tall and strong. Zayne and she stop at the same time. Do you remember when we planted this tree? I can't believe time passed by so quickly.
이제 나무가 자란 것처럼 폐하께서도 정식으로 대관식을 치를 때가 왔고.
Now the tree has grown, and your majesty is about to officially take the throne. But this tree isn't tall enough yet. It can also be stronger. If only it could grow faster, then the other trees along the colonnade wouldn't block its sunlight. Zayne silently keeps his gaze on what lies ahead.
풀과 나무는 자연의 순리를 따라 자라는 법이잖아. 서둘러서 성과를 얻으려고 하면 오히려 성장에 도움이 안 될 거야. 어쩌면 물을 주고 잡초를 뽑아주는 세심한 사람이 부족했을지도 모르지.
Plants grow in accordance with nature's timing. Rushing to see results will only hinder its growth. Perhaps what it truly needs is someone to take care of it. He moves to her side and leans down to take her hand.
봐봐. 이제 낙엽도 쓸어야 할 것 같네.
Look, the leaves have fallen away. Despite how busy you are with your duties, you still concern yourself with small details. It seems I still have much to learn from you. She responds with veiled sarcasm. Zayne isn't talking about the tree. He's actually referring to her. As he said, his branches and leaves once sheltered her from the wind and rain, but now his root system is silently spreading. It's impossible for her to ignore. He blocks the sunlight she should be receiving, and so she's forced to lie dormant under his supposed protection. This is such an interesting dynamic. So long as he's present, I'll forever be an immature empress who needs her master's guidance and the Grand General's assistance. You should have already read the script. I'll play the witch and the noble who passes judgment. Those scenes will put me in opposition to your knight character. Playing two roles simultaneously is unprecedented, but she has her reasons. As the witch, she'll cautiously foretell his rebellion and ambition, and when she's the noble who will judge him, the message that he should return his power to her shall be a form of intimidation.
폐하께서는 이미 장성하셨으니 스스로 결단을 내리는 건 당연한 일이지.
Your Majesty has matured. It's normal for you to make your own decisions. Under the scorching sunlight, Zayne reaches out to shield her from it. His support is like a soft, warm bundle of cotton. It envelops her first attempt to show her blade. For a moment, he's still her preceptor standing above her, his gaze accompanied by that indulgent tone. All right, let's continue with Zayne's event story. I have no idea. It's been so long since we did the prologue. I don't remember what's happening anymore. Oh, this is gonna be fun, guys. This is gonna be so fun. I know that we're getting coronated. Today, the first act of the play involving Mi-young and Zayne will be performed at the Royal Palace. Before that, however, the dance rehearsal is held as scheduled. When she arrives at the dance studio, Zayne is already waiting for her. It was Zayne who taught me the dance that symbolizes imperial etiquette. I never expected my first dance after my coronation to be with him of all people. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's the forbidden teacher-student romance. She sighs internally, her emotions a tangled mess. Still, she puts on her most courteous smile as she approaches him. Yes, I will read Zayne's lines too. Grand General, you're as punctual as ever.
신하로서 여왕을 기다리게 할 순 없으니까.
Oh. I don't know why they skipped that. As a loyal subject, I mustn't keep the Empress waiting. He bows to her and extends his hand as an invitation to dance. Correct. I'm no longer someone who needs you to guide my every step. Despite her words, she still steps forward. Take his hand.
폐하의 말 속에는 전부 나와 거리를 두고 싶어하는 느낌이 있네.
Oh. I sense that you want to establish distinct boundaries. He sighs, yet with unwavering steadiness, he takes her hand.
하지만 이 춤은 처음부터 곧잘 배웠어.
But in the beginning, you learned this dance quickly.
내가 어떤 동작을 가르쳐도 훌륭하게 해냈고.
You always had flawless execution with every step I taught you. You once said I was the best learner you could ever ask for. Their gazes meet in the dance studio mirror. It reveals what can no longer be hidden, their past intimacy and the delicate tension that exists between them now. My god! Zayne, my safe word is profound. No! The music plays and the dance begins.
예전보다 훨씬 능숙해졌네.
You've improved since before. With their fingers interlocked, they leap in perfect sync and switch positions. Wait, switch positions. How else can I impress my preceptor if I don't practice on my own? That is a word. The center stage is bathed in dazzling light. In the audience, there isn't a single empty seat, except all the seats are empty. I get why. I get they're not gonna show us the people, but the massive stage has been transformed into a wilderness. Wearing a witch's robe, she blocks the path of Zayne, who wears military regalia. Oh, I love this outfit. Halt, noble sir, whose triumph is most dignified. Fate has already woven the threads of crown for thee. Thy heart yearns for the throne that sits above all. Zayne appears unmoved.
어디서 왔는지 모를 허튼 소리를 하는 자가 애매모호한 망언으로 내 마음을 어지럽히려 하다니. 그런 예언으로 나를 현혹하려 하다니. 도대체 어떤 목적인 건가?
Dang, all right. An unknown soothsayer from nowhere throws baseless prophecies at me, right? In order to unsettle my heart. What purpose lies behind thine attempt to entice me with falsehoods? Sorry, I'm just remembering what he said. For this first part, I gave up at this part. I've merely glimpsed those infernal flames of ambition burning within thy heart. Hast thou never thought the one most deserving of the crown is the person who currently sits on the throne? Using her lines as a cover, she studies his expression. Yet Zayne seems oblivious to her scrutinizing gaze. He continues to follow the script. I mean, yeah, that's what he's supposed to do.
내 마음속의 생각은 그 어떤 것으로도 증명할 필요가 없다.
Oh.
예언이 무엇이든 이미 정해진 나의 방향을 좌우할 수 없으니. 하지만 그 말을 들으니 그토록 현혹적인 왕관이 과연 어떤 모습일지 보고 싶긴 하구나.
What lies in the depths of my heart needs no confirmation. Prophecies or whatever cannot sway me from my chosen path. But since you've spoken of it, my curiosity is piqued. I wonder what this bewitching crown looks like. They are using thou, thee, thy correctly. Okay, chapter 2. After the first act of the play, she returns to her busy life that's filled with imperial responsibility. Wait, what? What kind of custom is this? Where they just do one act and then they wait until another day to do the following act. Once the current matters at hand are done, she realizes she hasn't seen Zayne for several days. The last performance failed to reveal anything about his true intentions. In addition, her subordinate's report stated that he hasn't made any suspicious moves as of late. After much deliberation, she decides to test him personally. The guard at the Grand General's residence stands at attention and bows.
폐하, 문안드립니다. 지금 바로 폐하께서 오셨다고 알리겠습니다.
Your Majesty, I'll announce your arrival at once. That won't be necessary. I'll find him myself. Ooh, sneaking around his house. I thought that was rehearsal. They literally said after the first act. And also, it can't be rehearsal. It can't be rehearsal because she said that the house was packed. Like, there were no empty seats. So that was the performance. They do one act, and then they take a break, and then... This is a crazy coronation ritual. Like, it's so stupid. She makes her way to Zayne's study on the second floor with practiced ease. As expected, he's behind his desk. He's hunched over while working on something. Her unannounced visit doesn't even elicit a hint of surprise. She walks over to his side. On the large wooden desk lies an antique pocket watch and several maintenance tools. That looks familiar. Is it the one I gave you?
여왕폐하 기억력이 아주 훌륭하네.
Yes, your Majesty's memory is incredible. He doesn't look up, yet his movements as he polishes the pocket watch are remarkably gentle. This device from a previous era was a birthday gift she gave him during his time as her master. Master. The mechanical movement gives a tangibility to the passage of time. However, these gadgets have been rendered obsolete by eons reaching toward the future. Oh, okay, sorry. BL break. That should definitely be like a section. Sorry, BL break. Okay. Yet Zayne always had a special fondness for antiques. It was my gift to you, yet it became your most useful tool for telling time when you trained me at the military academy. Remembering how mercilessly strict he was during training, she inwardly grumbles.
생각한 것보다 훨씬 더 쓸모 있었어.
It was more useful than I
내가
expected.
이걸로 시간을 재는 걸 볼 때마다
Every
훨씬
time
더
you saw me take
열심히
it out,
뛰었으니까.
you suddenly found the motivation to run faster. Anyone who sees their well-intentioned gift turn into a tool for punishment would want to finish training quickly. Only then will you put it away. What's he going to use that watch for? How was he going to punish her with that? Wait, what? Hearing her complaint, Zayne gives a slight smile without saying anything. What are you doing? Is it broken? She walks over to Zayne and looks. He shifts slightly to the side, which allows her to move closer.
아니, 그냥 정기적으로 점검하고 있었어.
No, I'm simply performing routine maintenance on it. Oh wow, he's so
그런데
meticulous and
요즘
diligent.
들어서 조금 빨리 가기는 하더라.
Oh, these days it's been running slightly faster. She detects the subtle implication in his calm tone and immediately retorts. This pocket watch has been working for so long, it's only natural for it to change without you noticing. Dang. Whether it runs fast or slow is its own prerogative. There's no need to fix it. He glances at her, reaches around to retrieve a repair tool, and then lowers his head. He doesn't say anything. She watches him work on the pocket watch while idly fidgeting with nearby objects. She hears a beep next to her. She looks over and realizes she's accidentally touched a box's keypad. Assuming it won't open, she enters her birthday. To her surprise, the box opens. Why is my birthday the password to this box? He arranges the pocket watch chain and his tone remains composed.
안에 있는 게 전부 네 물건인데
Everything
당연히
within it
네
belongs to you.
생일이어야지.
Of course, it's natural to use your birthday. His explanation makes her curious, so she uses this opportunity to pick up the items and examine them carefully. It's my detector? He glances at her before rising from the workbench, then he moves behind her.
아주 당당하게 말하네.
You sound
엄밀히
confident.
말하자면
Strictly
네가
speaking,
압수당한 탐측기지.
it's your confiscated
훈련을
detector.
받을 때 그걸로 내가 언제 돌아오는지 망을 보려고 했잖아.
You tried to use it during training. It was a valiant attempt to see when I would return it. Or I would return.
업무를 마치고 돌아오던 길에 문 앞에서 딱 발견했었지.
I found it at the entrance. No wonder I couldn't find it. It was with you this whole time. She makes this teasing remark as she looks at the other items. New and old objects of various sizes are well maintained. Every single one is related to her. Why did you keep them?
여왕의 성장을 기념하는 물건들이라고도 할 수 있으니까.
Because you can consider these mementos of your growth.
원래는 대관식 날까지 기다렸다가 줄 생각이었는데 네가 지금 보게 될 줄은 몰랐네.
Holy shit, guys. This is like, yeah, I see why this is super taboo. Oh my gosh. I plan to give them to you on the day of your coronation. I didn't expect you to see them now. When he reaches out to close the box, she stops him. You might as well give them to me now, and that pocket watch while you're at it. Oh, the pocket watch? Hey, you gave him that as a gift. It doesn't listen to you anymore. It runs too fast and you have to fix it all the time. Zayne closes the box.
폐하께서 나한테 준 건데 돌려줄 이유는 당연히 없지.
Since you gave it to me,
게다가
of course there's no reason to
몇 초
return
정도
it.
차이는 아무런 영향을 주지 못하니까.
In any case, being off by a few
빨리
minutes
가고
isn't an
싶다고
issue.
하면 좀 빨리 가라고 하지 뭐. 결국 이 세상에 영원히 변하지 않는 건 없잖아.
If it wants to run fast, then it should run fast. After all, there isn't anything in this world that doesn't change. These are pretty short, these chapters. What is going on with the play? Like, I'm so confused about how they're like performing this play over multiple days. Who decided this? The preparations for her coronation ceremony are going smoothly. Their play has reached its halfway point. During the break, she's planning to use a tactical simulation to map out military deployments after her coronation. She needs to prepare for the galaxies that are growing restless. What the fuck? Dang, she's got a lot on her plate. So she invited Zayne to be her opponent. Literally, how annoying would that be? I know, right?
폐하께선 이 다음에는 어떻게 할 생각이지? 이대로 출격?
What is your
아니면
Majesty's
잠시 매복?
next plan? Will you attack or will you stay your hand? The simulation begins. She controls Imperial forces and Zayne represents the galaxies that wish to rebel. She controls multiple... Oh no, man. Our girl is an imperialist. She's a colonizer, guys. No! Initially, they have no points of conflict, yet as their territories gradually expand, friction inevitably arises. Asking that question means you're not as confident as you used to be, Grand General. She thinks while watching the situation. With our Trash Panda MC, I'm gonna say seize the moment. I shall take your city now. She uses Zayne's opening to deploy troops and capture his poorly defended city. But it's a trap. By the time she realizes what's happening, her forces are already surrounded.
폐하의 판단력이 빠르긴 하지만
Your judgment is
마음이
swift.
조급하면 전체적인 판세에 대한 통제를 잃게 돼.
However, if you're too impatient, then you'll lose control of the situation. This man, I can't let my guard down even for a second. The situation quickly becomes critical. After calculating her current forces, she fortunately still has a chance to counterattack. As expected of the Cosmic Empire's Grand General, even when deliberately revealing vulnerabilities, he maintains a perfect, emotionless facade.
폐하께서도 대단하네. 전술을
Your Majesty is
고민하면서
impressive as well.
내 눈빛을 살필 여유가 있다니.
You have the mental fortitude to observe me while strategizing. She accepts his compliment without any hesitation. It's thanks to your excellent lessons. Didn't you teach me to keep an eye on my opponent's breathing during a contest? You can only relax when you watch them breathe their last as their body stops moving. Oh my god!
역시 조금만 알려줘도 바로 안다니까.
As expected, even if I teach you a little bit, you understand it immediately.
다만 사냥감이 도망치는 것처럼 보여도 방심해서는 안 돼.
However, you can't afford to lower your guard even when your prey appears to be defeated.
게다가 어떤 적은 아주 교활해서 위장에 능숙하기도 하지.
Moreover, some enemies are cunning and skilled at disguising their true nature. She looks at the virtual screen and sees Zayne's armies have advanced from all directions. They're ready to devour the royal capital. Just as he's about to breach the royal capital's defenses, a cheerful ringtone resounds to interrupt their match. Zayne presses the pause button on the virtual screen.
오늘 연습은 여기까지 하자.
Let's conclude today's training here. He stands up to leave. She calls out to him just as he touches the door. I like this cape! God, his outfit is so nice. Why don't you join me for afternoon tea before you leave? You're already here. I prepared desserts that I'm certain you'll enjoy, Grand General. Does he like desserts even in this universe? The Grand General is brought down by a cupcake. The sunlight is gentle and warm. Tea and desserts are already on the table. Oh my god, he really stayed for dessert. She glances at the plate of desserts in front of Zayne and breaks the silence with feigned casualness. After all these years, your preferences still haven't changed.
너도 계속 기억하고 있었네. 그렇지.
And you've always remembered them, right? Whenever I struggled with my studies in the past, I'd bring you desserts. You were less strict afterwards.
그거야 한밤중에 내 서재에 들어오는 네 표정이 웃기기도 하고 또
Oh! It's because of your expressions whenever you barge into my study in the middle of the night. They were always amusing and adore. What was that? She gives him a skeptical look. Zayne clears his throat softly, picks up a silver fork, and takes a piece of fruit from the cake. Then he places it in his mouth. I suppose those simpler days of the past are worth missing.
과거는 그리워할 가치가 있지만 나에게는 현재도 마찬가지로 소중해.
Zayne later, how did you sneak a truth serum into me? Fondly remembering the past is worthwhile. However, I value the present as well.
다만 지위가 달라졌으니 느끼는 감정이 같을 수는 없겠지.
We occupy different positions now, so our feelings aren't the same.
폐하께선 그 지위에 앉아 있으니 나보다 더 느끼는 바가 크겠지만 말이야.
Your feelings must be significantly deeper than mine since you're currently sitting on the throne. He watches as he swallows the piece of fruit, then he picks up his napkin and dabs at the corner of his mouth. You're correct, Grand General. Different positions, different feelings. It's reminiscent of certain roles. Experiencing something yourself and watching someone else are dissimilar on a fundamental level. That's why I prefer the future. As long as there's a road ahead of me, it means I can still be a harbinger of change. Zayne remains non-committal.
그렇다면 나도 한번 보고 싶네.
In that case, I'd
네가
like to
좋아하는
see
미래는 어떤 모습인지.
the future. I want to see what your future looks like. Yeah. I'm kind of curious what Caleb's storyline is like for the event. This event, the storyline seems deeper than I expected, you know? Because sometimes these events, side stories, are just kind of silly. They're just a little bit of fun, but this one is quite deep. Also, dang, the forbidden, taboo teacher-student romance. The vibes are, all there. As the day of her coronation approaches, many visitors from other galaxies have arrived to pay their respects. Yeah, you know what's funny, actually, now that I think about it? I think this patch, just from these two stories alone, might be the freakiest, even more so than the bondage one. Things were quite tame in those. As the day of her coronation approaches, many visitors from other galaxies have arrived to pay their respects. According to her arrangements, a grand interstellar exhibition is being held today. She also accepted Zayne's invitation to accompany him to this event. Oh my god, take a quick look at this outfit first. He didn't even wear this for the card. She carefully studies the mask on Zayne's face. Thanks to their mask, their appearances and demeanor have been altered. No one can recognize them. Really? No one?
폐하께서 딱 어울리는 걸 고른 덕분이지.
No one can recognize them? I'm having too much fun. I think I'm delirious. This is the morning after a swan mauled me outfit, right? This is crazy. Your Majesty's choice is impeccable. Zayne stands beside her and examines the holographic map in his hand.
가보고 싶은 부스 있어?
Is there
이 정도 인원이면
exhibit you
줄을
want to
꽤
go
오래
to?
서야 할 것 같은데.
Considering the crowd, we'll be waiting in line for a while. It's alright, we can walk around and see if anything catches our eye.
좋아.
Alright,
사람이 많으니까
there are many
떨어지지
people,
않게 조심해.
so be careful not to get separated. He doesn't say anything else. When he invited her, she thought he had ulterior motives, but now it does seem as if he wants to partake in the festivities. Never mind, I'll deal with any situation that arises when they appear. Taking in the sights and sounds, she stops overthinking and begins looking around the exhibition. Why are so many gathered around that booth? She squeezes through the crowd with Zayne. Several book titles presented in a large font stand out. The Empress's Affection, The Grand General Daring to Overstep, Secret Lovers. People are writing fan fiction about them? Dude, that's fucking crazy. The last one bears a bestseller label, and upon closer inspection, she sees it's already reached its 95th volume. How long have people been shipping them?
세상에, 널 사랑하지만 나는 내 권력을 더 사랑한다. 권력과 사랑이 뒤엉킨 이런 감정은 너무 매력적이야.
Here, Zayne, glue this feather to your eyelid, it'll be hot. Yeah, she's messing with him if she dressed him like this. I love you, but I love my power more. The tension between power and desire is addictive. Oh my god. What is happening? Yeah, that would probably be uncomfortable to read. Following a faint floral fragrance, Zayne and she arrive at a garden's entrance. This place utilizes the latest spatial manipulation technology. It allows each visitor to have their own private garden. You know that 75 of the 95 volumes are just smut. Oh, for sure. As they step into it, the bustling crowd instantly vanishes. The garden is filled with pure white blossoms, their petals layered on top of one another. They sway in the gentle breeze and release a subtle, refreshing scent. This looks so silly. At least, like, if you look at him face forward, this looks so silly when he's not face forward. Are these jasmines? They look different from the ones I've seen in holograms.
맞아.
That's right.
지금 환경에서는 자연적으로 자라지 못하니까
They can no longer grow
이건
naturally
개량된
in
품종이라
their
약간
environment.
다를 거야.
These are modified species, so there are some differences. Zayne's hand brushes over the petals. Under the sunlight, the jasmines bloom in layers and tenderly rest on his fingertip.
전에 성주들이 아련했을 때 폐하가 그 사람들이 바친 제스민을 좋아하는 것 같길래
During the last meeting with the overlords, I noticed that you were fond of the jasmine. It's then that she understands his purpose in bringing her here. If the conditions are right, flowers can bloom anywhere.
그뿐만 아니라 정원사의 세심한 손길도 있어야 해. 그래야 꽃이 오래 피어 있고
Not only that, they also
일찍
require
시들지
a
않을
gardener's
테니까.
attentive care. Otherwise, they'll wilt. It seems the Grand General is an expert gardener. In the center of the garden, a table presents freshly picked flowers for visitors to craft keepsakes. Playful, she pulls Zayne to sit down with her. They each take some flowers. She assumes Zayne won't be interested in this kind of activity, but to her surprise, his craftsmanship is accompanied by remarkable dedication. Unable to contain her curiosity, she leans in for a closer look. Are you making a flower wreath? Tender stems and leaves bend into perfect arcs as his fingers gently shape them. The scent of flowers fills the air as he entwines pure white jasmines with green stems into a circular item.
화환일 수도 있고 왕관일 수도 있지.
It could be a wreath or a crown. Ooh. Before she can react, the item falls into her hands. Also, like, it's interesting because the feathers also have this thing, like tassel metal thingy attached to both sides. Like, this is a weird accessory. You made this for me?
그런 셈이지. 일단 연습해 본 거야.
Something like that. Consider it practice. I think that means he's not trying to take your crown, girl. I think you're fine. I think he's not gonna turn traitor. Unless he does.
곧 정식 대관식이 열리잖아. 네 예상대로 그건 온 우주를 통틀어 가장 성대한 축제가 될 거야.
It'll soon be your coronation. It will be the grandest celebration in the entire cosmos.
그날 너는 최고의 권위를 상징하는 왕관을 쓰게 되겠지.
You'll wear a crown
무게는
symbolizing supreme
이
authority.
화환관은 비교조차 되지 못할 정도로 무거워.
Its weight will be incomparable to this. She gently touches the soft petals. The sensation is fragile yet beautiful. For a moment, she's lost in thought. A flower crown is beautiful and fragrant, yet it wilts easily. The crown of an empress, however, will never disappear.
그래서 폐하는 이 화환을 버리려고?
Why did he sound like that? So will you discard this flower crown? Hang on.
그래서 폐하는 이 화환을 버리려고?
So are you saying that you'll throw away this flower crown? Why does he say it like... Why does he sound... She winks at Zayne. He sounds genuinely, like, upset. He's not playful here, you know? Why can't I have both? Flowers and power suit me perfectly. This MC is quite interesting, this version of her. Apparently this doesn't even unlock for 2 more days. Are they doing this in real time? The coronation? Oh, wow. Okay, so let's finish up this story, even though I have no idea anymore because it's been like, I don't know, a week since I did the prologue to chapter 4. So we're just gonna throw ourselves in and hope I can catch up. Dark clouds blanket the wilderness as fierce winds howl across the land. The play will reach its final act today. I still don't understand why the plays happen over the course of many days. They were doing a stage play, one act every 3 days. Yeah, why? Who thought that was a good idea? Now she's a noble with her sword of judgment. She shall sentence the knight who committed regicide. Ooh. Sir, is thy stolen throne pleasing? Thy crown, stained red with conspiracy and blood, will ultimately be consumed by justice's flames. Accept thy punishment.
심판?
Punishment?
당신이 말하는 정의란 결국 승자의 왕관에 불과해.
The justice you speak of is nothing more than the victor's crown. Enough. She tightly grips the sword and uses the pause between lines to observe his expression. She's trying to detect a hint of inappropriate ambition. Yet his performance is too perfect. She can't tell if his current desire for the throne is merely acting or his true feelings. This is not a good way to find out. Like, let us end this farce in the name of kingship. According to the original script, she's supposed to sentence the knight to death. However, as she raises her sword to give the order, Zayne unexpectedly alters the script. Eh? He reaches out, neither surrendering nor begging for mercy. Instead, he grabs her sword and presses it against his own neck.
당신의 권력을 되찾고 싶다면 여기서 이렇게 심판자의 역할에 머물러서는 안 돼.
If you want
적이
to
네
reclaim your
생각대로
power,
고분고분하게 고개를 내밀고 죽임을 당할 거라고 기대하는 건 더더욱 안 되지.
if you want to reclaim your power, it won't be enough just to act as a judge. You certainly shouldn't expect your enemies to offer their necks when you wish to take their lives. Except you just did. He tightly grips the blade and its edge almost cuts into his neck. Are you
적을
using...
향해 검을 겨누는 법조차 배우지 못한다면 당신은 평생 당신의 권력을 손에 쥘 수 없을 거야.
Are they using real weapons? What is the logic? If you cannot learn how to point your sword at your enemies, then you shall never truly wield power. You... Here would be proud. The curtain falls in breathtaking silence. Why does it keep, like, skipping? I didn't press anything. Backstage, the commotion fades into silence. Yet they seem frozen in the drama's afterglow. Neither of them is in a hurry to remove their costumes. Under the dim yellow light, she looks at him. The emotions he displayed on stage have already subsided. Only the familiar calmness she knows so well remains. If the knight wasn't bewitched by the witch's prophecy, he wouldn't have met such a fate. Do you agree or not? After the first word leaves her mouth, she comes to her senses. They're still maintaining the same confrontational roles from their scenes.
만약 그 기사가 정말 나였다면
If I was really that
애초에
knight,
마녀의 예언 같은 건 믿지 않았을 거야.
I wouldn't have believed the prophecy in the first place. He pauses, his gaze sweeping over the sword in her hand. It's still stained with the fake blood that hasn't been wiped away.
하지만 그 예언을 이용해서 제국에 이익이 되는 일을 했겠지.
I would use that prophecy as a means to benefit the Empire.
예언이 어떻게 쓰일지는 그것을 듣는 자가 어떻게 쓰느냐에 달려 있으니까.
Ah. It's different for each person who hears the prophecy, how they use it. As he speaks, he wipes away the fake blood splattered on his knuckles and collar. His movements are neither hurried nor slow. If the court astrologers heard those words, I'd bet they'd be fuming.
하지만 폐하도 그렇게 생각하지 않아?
But don't you
너
agree?
역시 운명 같은 건 믿지 않으니까.
You don't believe in fate either, do you?
만약 네가 미래의 여왕이 된다는 예언을 들었다면 과연 그 자리에서 마녀의 말에 흔들리지 않았을까?
If you heard a prophecy that said you were destined to rule, would you have been impervious to the witch's manipulation? Of course, with or without the witch's prophecy, I was always going to be the empress. Ding! She's not sure if it was her or Zayne who accidentally hit the light switch in the break room. The shadow of the prop sword elongates in the half light. It extends between her and Zayne. In any case, the knight immediately believed the prophecy because he failed to understand his role. She takes a step to move closer to him and the sword's shadow. Perhaps it's because he didn't have a good preceptor like you by his side. I'm very fortunate. With a slight smile, he lowers his head. Then he takes out a clean handkerchief and gently wipes away the fake blood that had splattered onto her face.
훌륭한 스승? 제자를 다 가르친 뒤 물러나는 사람을 말하는 거야? 아니면 늘 곁에 남아 제자에게 가르침을 전해주는 게 훌륭한 스승인가?
Are you referring to the person who imparts all their knowledge before quickly exiting the stage, or the person standing by their learner's side since the beginning? Is he who meticulously guides them worthy of being called a good preceptor? So the word preceptor that's being used in the Korean is teacher, like master. Akin to a sword being pointed at his throat, his eyes reflect her cold expression. A good preceptor is one who does what they should. I believe you will always be my best master. Oh, there it is, master. Yeah, another taboo relationship. On Saturdays, yes. He's her master on Saturdays. The stars will witness your glory and coronation. Your chosen dance partner awaits. His oath will form the empire's strongest foundation, his blade guarding every dawn of your reign. The peaceful rule of the empress and the grand general will light the path ahead for the cosmic empire. All right. This is such a weird AU. The day of her coronation arrives as scheduled. Throughout the empire, celebrations are held. In contrast to the festive atmosphere outside, the empress's bedchamber is noticeably quiet. Dawn's light streams through the palace's stained glass windows. Zayne and she are bathed in its glow. Waiting on the lady-in-waiting to help her try on the crown, she sits before a mirror. The jewels on the crown refract brilliant light as the lady-in-waiting gently places it on her head. In the mirror, she locks eyes with him.
왕관이 잘 어울리네.
The crown suits you. Very well. He looks sincere.
아주 오래전부터 네가 여왕으로 즉위하는 모습을 상상해왔어.
For a long time now, I imagine how you would look when you're crowned the empress. Is it different from the image in your head? He studies her in silence, his gaze moving from her hair to her ears and lips before returning to the crown.
어쩌면.
Perhaps.
하지만 넌 언제나 내 상상을 뛰어넘는 능력을 가지고 있잖아.
But you've always been capable of exceeding my expectations. Exceeding. Starships orbit around them as solemn ceremonial music plays. The eyes of the entire cosmos are focused on her and the magnificent crown in her hands. The flirty lip look, yes. Despite the ongoing, momentous occasion, her thoughts inappropriately drift to that small garden where it was just the two of them. She still recalls the flower crown with jasmines that Zayne made for her. The crown before her lacks their fragrance. Looking at it, she can tell it's exceptionally heavy. It's exactly as Zayne said. But does that matter? With a slight smile, she lifts her head and puts on the crown. She looks at the crowd below. In the name of the empire and with the cosmos as my witness, I... insert name. It's weird to... I shouldn't have used my real name. Shall chart the course of the cosmos and wear the crown of the stars. Amidst the sound of ceremonial cannons being fired, she sees Zayne standing in the crowd. He's smiling. I should have said I, your name. I-Y-N. The ball has ended. In the soft moonlight, Zayne and she walk on the palace colonnade. Everyone said we had great rapport at the ball. The evening breeze stirs the fallen leaves on the ground. Zayne's voice grows softer. I raccoon.
하지만 앞으로 그 사람들은 우리가 점점 다르다고 생각하게 될 거야.
But in the future, they will see us become more different.
예전에 그 제자는 이제 스스로 성장할 줄 알게 되었으니까.
Someone I used to guide has learned how
다만.
to grow on her own. One more. He pauses and brushes away a fallen leaf.
그녀가 과연 이미 짜여진 틀에서 벗어날 수 있을지는 모르겠네.
She might be able to break free from the framework set for her. It's silent as they hear, or all they hear is their breathing and the leaves' gentle rustling. Before they realize it, they find themselves beneath the tree outside the colonnade once more. This tree grows more lush with each passing day. Maybe in a few years or even a decade, it will become an unshakable giant that reaches towards the heavens.
그러면 더 세심하게 돌봐야겠네.
In that case, we should tend to it with greater care. His expression remains unchanged, as if he made a casual remark. I'll water it myself. He looks at her and his features have inexplicably softened in the reflected moonlight, yet the words he speaks remain harsh.
그래?
Really?
그렇다면 불필요한 가지를 쳐내는 건 나한테 맡겨.
Actually, is that so is more correct. I just automatically translate that as really. Is that so? I suppose you'll leave the pruning of excess branches and leaves to me. She meets his gaze and they maintain eye contact for a while, then she softly laughs. This is the Zayne she knows. He's a formidable political rival, a guiding preceptor, and the source of these feelings she'll forever keep to herself. Oh no! I guess they will not be getting together here. Between him and her, they still have a long journey ahead of them. Oh wow! It ends with things hanging a bit. All right. Their relationship's still quite undefined. I guess you gotta use the card to see how things turn out. Let's see what Caleb's storyline is like. This is the prologue. At dawn, wait, is it the prologue? No. Whatever. At dawn, red carpets unfurl across the palace's plaza. Royal guards stand at attention as they prepare to welcome the something. Oh. Okay, let me start again. Wait! Ah! Oh my god. Okay. Okay, we're gonna start this again. Oppa counter, let's go. Oppa counter at the ready. Hi, Alaris. Welcome in. You've made it in for the crest playthrough. At dawn, red carpets unfurl across the palace's plaza. Royal guards stand at attention as they prepare to welcome the Federation's highest marshal, who happens to be Mi-young's big brother. Oh, I think we renamed her Gina for this. Gina's big brother. Caleb will be the leading actor of the play and her partner for her coronation's first dance. She picked her brother. Guys, I cannot. I'm already dying. Will we make it through this alive? I don't know.
여러분, 저희는 지금 행궁 광장에 나와 있습니다. 여왕과 연방 총사령관의 만남이 곧 시작될 예정이며
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now at the Palace Plaza. Her Majesty and the Glory Federation's High Marshal are about to meet.
양측의 휴전 협상이 다시 체결될 수 있을지.
As for whether the ceasefire agreement between our two powers can be renewed, the vessel slowly descends and its hatch opens to reveal a figure within. What is happening? Shake hands. Okay. On behalf of my people, I would like to welcome our good friends from the Federation. I hope you'll attend the upcoming coronation ceremony.
연방과 제국의 우정이 광활한 우주처럼 오랫동안 밝게 이어지기를 바랍니다.
How do they have two separate kingdoms? How? Okay. May the enduring friendship between the Federation and the Empire remain as brilliant as the cosmos. After their handshake, she allows herself to smile and give him a hearty hug. Oh my god. Too close. Long time no see, oppa.
그러게 정말 오랜만이네.
That's right,
내
it's been too
동생이
long.
이제 곧 여왕 폐하가 될 정도로 시간이 흘렀다니.
My little sister is about to become an empress. Oh my god.
축하해.
Congratulations. If you actually want to congratulate me, give me a good performance during the coronation ceremony. Caleb faces the countless camera flashes with a small smile. However, his gaze holds a subtle indifference.
그럴 거야.
Of course.
그 연극에 어떤 챕터든.
I'll do my best regardless of the scene in the play. This is so funny. They made them just for this AU, this plot line. They made them blood related brother and sister, and I think that's wild. I think that's hilarious. Like seriously, this set of cards seems honestly freakier than the bondage one. Now that the Federation envoys have settled down, Caleb and she finally get a chance to be alone. She invites him to walk with her through the palace. This will be an opportunity to gauge his attitude toward her coronation and the Federation's stance. Oh my god, the music, and as he's like shaking his hair, that's ridiculous. What kind of scene is this? However, when she arrives in the garden, a group of orange floof beasts has cornered Caleb. She watches for a few seconds and can't help but laugh. He doesn't turn around.
온지 꽤 됐으면서 계속 그렇게 옆에서 구경만 하고 있을 거야?
You've been here for a while. Are you just going to keep watching? The High Marshal isn't oft in these sorts of predicaments. I have to savor it for a bit. She walks over, breaks the cookies on the table, and scatters the pieces. The fur balls immediately swarm around the treats. Having been rescued, Caleb carefully brushes away the loose fur on his shoulders.
발렌시 은하의 무지개 털방울도 네 화원에서 키울 수 있는지 몰랐네.
I didn't realize that you would be raising chroma puffs from the Valencia galaxy. You've heard of them before?
살짝 들어본 적 있어.
I've heard a bit.
주변 사람들의 감정을 감지해서
It can sense
경고의
people's
표시로
emotions
털색을 바꾼다고 하던데.
and change their color as a warning. His gaze falls on the orange floof beasts that have gathered at her feet.
그럼 지금 얘네들이 감지한 감정은 뭐야?
Then what emotions are they sensing now? She walks unhurriedly, pinching a small tuft of fur from his shoulder and waves it. This reflects your emotions. Why don't you take a guess? A gust sweeps past them and carries away the orange fur. Amidst rustling, she hears Caleb's reply tinged with amusement.
그럼
Then,
기대를 의미하겠네.
I suppose it means anticipation. What are you anticipating? The friendship between the Federation and the Empire? Or our meeting? These questions don't leave her mouth. He doesn't ask for details. This stems from their connection and the unspoken boundaries that two figures with authority understand. Really? Really? It's just because you're two figures with authority? Nothing else? Those are the only boundaries? They walk through the garden, their conversation moving from the weather to political figures. Then they finally reach the topic of the upcoming theatrical performance. You know very well that I've always loved a certain interstellar bard's poetry. He's a mysterious performer who suddenly appeared in the Empire several years ago.
그 사람이 각색한 연극은 아주 많아.
He has
네가
many
굳이
plays.
마음 사냥의 숲을 고른 건 내 생각엔 단순히 좋아한다는 이유는 아닐 것 같은데.
Yet you specifically chose the heart hunting forest. I suspect there's more to this than meets the eye. No need for them. The heart hunting forest starts with a goddess of love who becomes unintentionally enamored with a hunter in the woods. A burning passion is ignited within her. The goddess attempts to keep her beloved by using love and pleasure, but he repeatedly rejects her advances. In the end, the hunter meets his demise during a hunt that seemed predestined. Devastated by the loss of her beloved, the goddess is consumed by grief. Eventually, her love transforms into an eternal curse. His blood gives rise to the world's most ephemeral yet exquisite flowers. It symbolizes that love and suffering would forever be intertwined. Wait, I know this story. It's a Greek myth for sure. I can't remember the characters' names though. This adaptation is interesting. They walk along the garden's path and let the chroma puffs roll near their feet. When I first saw it, I realized how fascinating desire is. Wield it properly and it becomes a force you can harness.
잘못 사용하면 오히려 욕망에게 통제당하게 돼.
And use it poorly and it controls you instead. He slightly raises his fingers and the remaining cookies float away to lure the almost but not quite gold chroma puffs.
하지만
However,
스스로 욕망을 조종하는 것인지 욕망에 의해 통제당하는 것인지 극중 인물들은 대부분 구분하지 못해.
characters in a play can rarely see the difference between manipulating desire and being controlled by it. What about you? Can you tell the difference? Their gazes meet, then he takes her hand and places a tuft of orange fur in her palm.
많은 질문에 대한 대답이 우린 항상 같았잖아.
Our answers to
이것도
many
마찬가지야.
questions are always exactly the same. Try to guess. Alright, chapter 1. Okay, the play. Within the banquet hall, a massive white artificial full moon hangs like an ominous omen. On stage, the curtains are opened. Shrouded in darkness, she looks at the thousands of spectators below.
여신은 놀라 달아나는 사슴을 쫓아 숲으로 뛰어들었고 운명처럼 물을 마시고 있던 사냥꾼과 마주쳤다.
The goddess chases a startled deer into the forest, and thus she has a fateful encounter with a hunter drinking from a stream. In a forest clearing enveloped by thin mist, she slowly steps into the light. Mortal, who are you? Moving through dew-covered roses, she blocks the path of the tall figure before her. Oh my god, wait a minute! That's how they have him dressed? This is how he's dressed as the hunter? You guys, my neighbors must hate me. Oh my god, though. You guys, I know they have limited outfits that they can use, but this was the best they could do. Caleb has changed. Oppa, please. I know. Caleb has changed out of his crisp military uniform. It's a rare sight, and seeing him as a dashing hunter piques her curiosity. This is what hunters wear? I don't think so. You guys, I can't. Okay, we gotta move on. You have beautiful eyes. Did a reckless fairy steal the god's divine radiance and hide it within your captivating gaze?
감사합니다. 저는 그저 한
Thank
명의
you.
사냥꾼일 뿐입니다.
I'm just a
혹시
humble
제가
hunter.
산책을 방해한 거라면 죄송합니다.
If I
저는
have
바로
interrupted
떠나도록
your walk,
하겠습니다.
I'm sorry. I'll head off first. Lower your bow, hunter. You are aware of my divine presence. Oh my god. Okay, work time. Oh my god. Yeah, go to work with this image burned into your head. She moves closer to him. Under the mechanical firefly's soft glow, she caresses his face. Lose yourself in my embrace, and I shall bestow upon you my kiss, my love, my eternal blessing. Oh, Jesus Christ.
제 활에는 이미 자신만의 목표가 있습니다.
My bow already has its target.
존귀한 여신이시여,
O noble
당신의
goddess,
칭찬은 꿀처럼 달지만
your praise
자유로운
is as
새를
sweet as
묶어두지
honey,
못합니다.
yet it cannot hold a free bird. What free bird do you speak of? This forest belongs to me and me alone. It also includes you who stand in it. Oh, dang. Her fingertips slowly trace the contours of his face until they reach his lips. Caleb, who should have swiftly moved back, deviates from the script. He grasps her fingers to ensure she remains before him.
신처럼 고귀한 존재라 해도 줄 수 없는 게 있습니다.
Even the divine cannot give me
내가
what I
바라는
truly
건
desire.
당신이 줄 수 없는 겁니다.
사냥꾼의 말은 여신의 호기심을 불복으로 바꾸었고 이어 더욱 뜨겁게 욕망의 불꽃으로 번졌다.
They are performing this on a stage in front of thousands of people, in front of her subjects. This is insane. Like, because surely everyone knows their brother and sister, right? Imagine being in the crowd, just like, hey, wait a minute. The hunter's words transform the goddess's curiosity into indignation. Then an emotion more intense than wrath rears its ugly head, fiery desire. You guys, I can't breathe. This is so ridiculous. This premise is so ridiculous. The play ends for now. She changes back into the Empress's royal robes, dismisses her attendants, and heads to the study. The cold wind carries a murderous intent through the corridor. She pauses, then she takes a few more steps and turns left. She's greeted head-on by a tight embrace. Dang! Already embracing? Shocked, she looks up. It's Caleb who's wearing his military uniform.
한참 찾았습니다. 여왕 폐하.
Found
늘
you.
폐하와 함께 별 관측대에 별을 보러 가고 싶었는데
I want to observe
오늘
the
아주 좋은 기회가
stars
될
with
것
you at the
같습니다.
observatory. Tonight should be perfect for that. Caleb firmly holds her waist. They lock eyes and she slightly raises her eyebrow. Jesus Christ! It's just the observatory. Since the High Marshal wants to visit, we can go. The music makes it feel so much more intense, too. The observatory's door opens to reveal a brilliant sky with countless stars.
예전이랑 똑같네.
It hasn't changed. The sky curtain has always controlled the planet's sky and climate, so there are hardly any variations. They walk near the floor-to-ceiling windows until magnificent warm light appears on the horizon. These are the warmest, most commemorative colors that the sky curtain only displays during a monarch's coronation. Sometimes the slightest change is enough to bring people joy.
맞아.
That's right,
그 변화가 설령 인위적인 변화라고 해도 말이야.
though these changes are also artificial. He doesn't linger for the glow. Instead, he stops before a very small window that shows an exceptionally dark night.
진짜 하늘을 볼 수 있는 이 창문은 아직 남겨뒀네.
You've kept the window that shows the real sky. When you live alone in a carefully constructed world for too long, it's easy to forget what reality actually looks like. Take this coronation ceremony, for instance. No matter how festive it is, we must remember the opportunists and troublesome individuals lurking about. As she speaks, she gives him a meaningful look. Their gazes meet and he pulls her into his arms. Then he turns them halfway. Shots from several weapons fly out of a corner, but they're blocked by a barrier that materializes in midair. An invisible force lifts the assassin. Soldiers immediately emerge from the shadows. They nod at her before they drag the assassin away. Dang. At long last, it's quiet.
오늘은 이렇게 끝났지만
Things
이
ended like that
제국은
today,
채처럼 구멍이 너무 많아.
but there
내가
will
볼
be,
땐 다음 소란까지도 멀지 않았어.
but there are many. The next disturbance isn't in the distant future. I'll still be able to draw them out. The trouble they'll cause is negligible. Speaking of which, you were quick to provide assistance. Are you worried about me? Do you want to help me? She looks into his eyes and tries to catch a glimpse of the feeling she's touched, but all she sees is her reflection.
오늘 밤은 그저 야경을 감상하고 싶었을 뿐인데
Tonight, I just want to
운이 좀
appreciate the
나빴던
night
건지도
sky.
모르지.
It's unfortunate that luck wasn't on my side. Never mind, you keep your secrets. Besides, she points towards his heart. I'll get the answer in your heart someday. Dang! She is like, she does not care about these boundaries at all. She is like going head on. The assassins have ruined the mood. Are we still going to appreciate the night? He takes her hand as they push open the window of truth together. A dark gray, real sky appears before them.
이것 좀 봐.
Look at this.
하늘 장막 시스템이 만들어낸 하늘이 아무리 아름다워도
No matter how
오직 진실만이
beautiful a sky controlled by the
사람에게
sky curtain
의미를
may
느끼게
be,
할 수 있어.
only reality can give people a sense of meaning. Familiar warmth passes between their fingers while the night wind disperses heat once more.
그래서 나는 진실을 택해.
I choose reality,
그게 잔인하더라도.
even if it's cruel. I'm excited to do his card later, whenever we get around to that. After the first act of the play ends, many praise the connection between Caleb and her. Really? Really? Do they must know, right? Like, it can't be a secret that these two are siblings. Just when everyone thought the two nations might be able to coexist peacefully.
그만.
Stop. The music pauses and she moves her foot off of Caleb's for the 6th time.
폐하
Your
총사령관님.
Majesty, High
부디
Marshal,
무효하지 말고 들어주십시오.
please listen to me.
첫 번째 춤은 곧 거행될 대관식에서 제국의 얼굴을 대표할 것입니다.
The first dance will represent the Empire's dignity at the coronation ceremony.
배야? 아무래도 저희가 좀 더 열심히 해야 할 것 같습니다.
Your Majesty, in any case, it seems we need to be more focused.
제 신발은 중요하지 않지만 제국의 얼굴이 웃음거리가 될 수는 없습니다.
My shoes aren't important, but the Empire's dignity is a serious matter. The music starts again. She can't help but feel annoyed because of Caleb's sincere expression. The Federation recently snatched the Lorne Galaxy's long-haul vessel production line for next year. It was done under the Empire's nose, and now they're putting on an act. But if I ask for the goods directly, he'll simply make a joke and ignore it.
무슨 생각해?
What are you thinking about? Caleb's voice suddenly resounds, and she snaps back to reality. He tightens his grip on her hand. I was thinking about tomorrow night's performance. She flashes a smile and uses the music's rhythm to move closer to him. I'd like to hear your perspective. Why did the hunter refuse to accept the goddess's love?
어쩌면 사냥꾼은 여신이 자기를 농락한다고 생각했을지도 모르지.
Oh my god.
아니면 이런 감정은 비극적인 결말을 맞이할 거라고 판단했을 수도 있고.
Perhaps in the hunter's eyes, the goddess was only treating him as a plaything, or he knew that their love was destined for tragedy. Dang.
사냥꾼에게 불평등한 감정은 마치 창문 하나 없는 방 같아.
For him, an unequal love is just like a room without windows.
그 안에 들어가려면 자신이 사냥꾼으로서 가진 신분과 사명을 버려야 하지.
Entering it would mean he must abandon his identity and purpose as a hunter.
자유를 동경하는 그에게 그건 곧 자기 자신이 사라지는 것과 다름없는 거고.
And for someone who yearns for freedom, this would be a form of self-destruction. Do you also yearn for freedom?
나는 그 사냥꾼과는 달라.
I'm not the
하지만
same
확실한 건
as the
자기
hunter,
자신이 사라지는 건 발을 7번 밟히는 것보다는 훨씬 아플 거라는 거야.
but I can say that kind of self-destruction would be more agonizing than having your foot stepped on 7 times. Her smile freezes, which only brings amusement to Caleb's eyes. He infuriates me to no end. She takes a deep breath and continues maintaining her smile. I also think the two of you aren't alike. You're a smart man. Surely you're aware that some things are worth more than abstract notions of freedom.
그럼 그게
Dang!
뭔지 봐야겠네.
That depends on what's being offered. Okay, hang on. The vibes I'm getting from this, like, she is overstepping a lot more boundaries, I feel like. Like, honestly, she's the toxic one in this relationship. She's basically saying, submit to me, and he's like, mining rights to 3 resource planets on the border. In exchange, you hand over the Starship production lines you stole. She cuts to the chase, but Caleb laughs.
역시 그 일 때문에 기분이 안 좋았구나.
As expected, that's the reason you're upset.
아쉽게도 나는 채굴권에는 관심이 없어.
Unfortunately, I'm not
차라리
interested in mining
우리
rights.
내기 하나 하는 게 어때?
Why don't we make a bet instead? Smiling, he puts a magnetic stripe card into her hand.
하지만 네가 지면 그때는 나한테 한 가지를 약속해줘야 해.
But if you lose, then you'll have to do me a favor. Oh dear.
걱정 마. 지나친 요구는 아닐
Don't
테니까.
worry, it's nothing humiliating.
어쨌든 나는 영리한 사람이잖아.
After all, I am a clever man. We have a deal. Oh dear. A new song starts to play. She takes the initiative and changes her moves, but he follows her perfectly.
스텝이 훨씬 정확해졌네.
Your dancing has improved. Is that it? As their hands separate, she takes the card back. But Caleb shifts his palm. The card and she are pulled into his embrace. The struggle is discreet yet intense. The music reaches its finale, and she's about to grasp the card when that familiar face moves closer. Her steps falter, but the music doesn't end until a second later. With hands on her waist, Caleb locks her in his embrace, his warm breath tinged with amusement.
내가 이겼네.
I won. She comes to her senses only to find that Caleb has taken the card. Oh, she huffs and pulls away. We agreed to a deal, so what do you want?
여기에 돌아오고 나서 매일 연애 아니면 접대였잖아.
Ever since I've returned, there have only been banquets and diplomatic obligations. As he speaks, he grasps her wrist, and his other hand brushes against her cheek. His fingers touch her hair, that's damp because of the sweat.
며칠 뒤에 나와 함께하는 저녁 자리에 너를 초대하고 싶어.
I want to invite you to have dinner with me in a few days. These event stories are so fascinating. I wonder what's next. The second act of the play ends, and the palace has welcomed many new interstellar visitors. However,
여왕 폐하, 저는 폐하를 사모합니다. 저희 행성의 수정 광석을 예물로 바치고 싶습니다.
the Dara Overlord,
저를 제국에서 받아주십시오.
Your Majesty, my love for you knows no bounds, and I'm willing to offer our galaxy's crystal mines as a gift. Please allow me to marry into the royal family. What? The green-skinned giant with large ears and one eye is kneeling on one knee. He's offering her rare, precious flowers. Green-skinned giant, large ears, one eye. Okay. All right, I'm getting a visual. She's about to refuse when an intense, burning gaze ensnares her. Caleb? She smiles at the giant. This matter concerns the Empire, so I cannot give you a direct answer. Thank you for your sentiments and the flowers. He helps the giant to his feet, but the flowers are intercepted by another hand. Oh my god, his foot just stepped into the screen in such a funny way.
달라 성주. 바빠서 잊어버리신 모양이군요.
The Dara Overlord has
행성의 광물 지원
overstepped.
운반권은 아직 연방에서 의논 중인데 지금 수정 광석에 대해 이야기하는 건 너무 이를 텐데요.
Your planet's mineral transportation rights with the Federation haven't been decided yet. Isn't it premature to discuss crystal mines at this moment?
나중에 운송에
Feet,
차질이라도
yes.
생기면 그건 제국을 기만한 죄가 될 겁니다.
Problems with the transportation process will be considered a crime with the intent of defrauding the Empire. The giant's excitement turns to alarm, and he hurriedly departs to leave her with Caleb. You scared off my silvery titanium crystal mines.
난 제국이 언제부터 이런 자원까지도 부족했는지 모르겠는걸.
I didn't realize that the Empire lacked such resources. No one would complain about having too many. As she speaks, she reaches for the flowers, but he raises his hand higher. Moving closer to him, she's forced to stand on her toes.
정말 그렇게 갖고 싶어?
Do you really want them that much? Noticing how Caleb's mood has changed, she responds with a slight smile. She'll quit while she's still ahead. Forget it, they're just flowers. Calling them extraordinary would be an exaggeration. I have better ones. She turns and leaves to the side entrance of the banquet hall. Being present for half of the event is sufficient. Caleb follows suit, and they enter the palace's crystal greenhouse. Nebular light pierces the transparent dome, and rare flora from across the cosmos bloom.
폐한테는 정말 더 훌륭한 꽃들이 많이 있네.
Your Majesty truly does have many more beautiful flowers. I can get anything I want, Caleb. Dang, this MC. Caleb's gaze falls on a nearby blossom.
네 손에 들어가는 것도 나쁘지 않은 것 같아. 네가 잘 돌봐주고 있으니까.
It doesn't seem too bad. You take good care of them. These flowers have one thing in common. She picks up a flower that has already fallen and shows it to Caleb. They're like those envoys with marriage proposals. They can't protect themselves, so they seek my protection. But you're different, Caleb. She approaches him and looks into his eyes. Caleb, why did you actually return here? She places her fingers on his chest and feels that strong heartbeat. The Empire's approval, the Empress's favor. You gained all of that when I chose you to be my leading actor. His fingers slightly twitch. The flower in her hand spins and floats before he grasps it.
난 욕심이 많은 편이거든.
I'm extremely greedy.
제국에서 가장 소중한 보물을 원해.
I want the Empire's most precious treasure. The most precious. An answer seems to form in the depths of her heart, but his attitude these past days leaves her uncertain. Her guess can't be incorrect. She refuses to be the first one to lose. This is like Kaguya-sama, Love is War. Like they're struggling to get the other one to confess first. If you want the most precious treasure here, you'll have to exchange it for something with the greatest value. More and more people are eyeing Lauren's long-haul vessels. Can the Federation dominate the entire market by themselves? As she says this, she takes Caleb's hand. Why don't you let the Empire take a share? You'll benefit from it. And Caleb pulls away and her heart sinks. But then he moves closer and places the flower in her hair.
그럼 대관식의 첫 번째 춤이 끝난 후에
Then let's
다시
wait.
얘기하자.
And talk about this after
그게
your
바로
first coronation dance.
내가 원하는 보물이야.
This is the treasure I want. All you want is one dance? Yes.
나에겐 충분히 소중한 보물이야.
For me, it's already precious enough. These two are so weird. After losing the bet to Caleb, she's soon greeted by the day when they'll have their dinner together. However, she didn't expect him to dress her up as a lady-in-waiting before they left the palace. What made you decide to carry out this secret outing?
왕궁에선
In the
늘
palace?
공무 아니면 접대뿐이잖아.
There are only
자주
official
보다 보니
business or societal
지겨워서.
obligations. It's easy to get tired of.
그리고 잊었나 본데 난 연방 사람이거든.
And don't forget,
아직
I'm from the
제국 구경도
Federation.
제대로 못했어.
I haven't had the chance to explore the Empire. Even though Caleb says those words, he orders a table's worth of the Empire's signature dishes once they sit at the restaurant.
먹어볼래?
Try it. He picks up a chicken wing. Oh, sorry, do you want to try it? He picks up a chicken wing covered in green sauce for her. Its skin is crispy, the sauce is fragrant, and the juices burst from the tender meat. I'm hungry. This authentic imperial cuisine.
조금 전에 한 말은 거짓말이야.
I lied to you.
공모가 없을 땐 가끔 제국을 구경했어.
When I don't have any business, I explore the Empire sometimes. I assumed that was the case.
가게 주인한테 내가 이곳 사람이 아니라고 했더니 간판 메뉴 몇 개를 추천해 주더라고.
Yeah, me
식량꽃
too.
냉채까지 먹어봤어.
I told the restaurant's owner I wasn't a local, so he recommended a multitude of signature dishes. I even tried the chilled, bitter petal salad. No, why am I in a salad? Also, why am I bitter? She's surprised to hear this. It's their specialty, but it's too bitter. You actually ate it? Yes. I'm certain you drank at least 3 large bottles of water.
맞아.
That's
내가
right.
없어서 아쉬웠어.
It's a shame you weren't
내가
there.
있었으면 그 고통을 분담할 수 있었을 텐데.
I would have asked you to partake in my suffering. He's jesting, but the truth is, ever since they were children, he has never let her truly suffer from life's bitterness. They're reminding us about the relationship now. After dinner, they walk through the streets. The lights stay on as they shine over the path they take. The atmosphere is lively and carefree.
그때 그녀가 흉악한 성간의 강도를 쫓아냈고 선량한 제국의 백성들은 그녀의 보호 아래
And then she drove away the vicious interstellar pirates and protected the kind imperial citizens.
모두 행복하게 살았답니다.
Everyone lived happily ever after. Oh, I like this voice. The puppeteer's voice. Kind of nice. The cheering gradually fades behind them as they walk away. Suddenly, the wind picks up and a piece of paper soars in the air. Ah, my paper. An unseen force controls the fluttering document. It falls into Caleb's hand. It unfolds to reveal childish brushstrokes that outline bustling streets and everyone smiles.
때로는 아이들이 보는 세상이야말로 가장 진실한 모습이기도 해.
Sometimes what children see is the truest reality. A warm feeling blooms in her heart as she looks at Caleb. Countless lights illuminate his eyes. Caleb. No, Oppa. Yes? This is why I want power. Beneath the sky curtain's illusory veil, I want to protect what's real, and I need more power to help me do it. She directs her steadfast gaze at him. The implications are clear.
그 말 여왕의 신분으로 하는 거야? 아니면 너의 신분으로 하는 거야?
Are you saying that as the Empress or as yourself? Which one would you say yes to? He doesn't provide a direct answer. Instead, he takes her hand and gives her the drawing.
네가 가서 돌려줘.
You return it.
지금까지 늘 그랬던 것처럼 그들에게 그림 속 생활을 선물해줘.
Make this drawing come to life as a gift to them, as you always have. She gives the paper to the girl. She smiles, expresses her thanks, and then runs off to throw herself into her parents' arms. Thank you, Caleb. She looks at him, but he shakes his head.
지도자가 누구인지는
People don't
사람들에게
care
중요하지 않아.
About who wields the
그들에게
authority.
중요한 건 누가 그들에게 행복을 가져다 줄 수 있냐는 것이지.
They're most interested in whether a leader can bring them happiness. Yes.
그리고 내가 보장할 수 있는 건
What I
누가 왕이
can
되든 저들의 소원을 들어줄 수 있다는 거야.
and what I can give is whoever has dominion will get what they want. Huh.
그래도 나한테 고마워?
Do you still wish to thank me? He looks at her, the amusement in his eyes tinged with fleeting distance. Old hand. The subtle separation is captured by her outstretched hand. It's transformed into surprise and brightness. This is enough, Caleb. This has been a very weird story. All right. Dawn has yet to greet the world. Outside the hunting lodge, mist permeates the damp, cold air. Red moonlight creates an ominous atmosphere for the scene. As everyone watches, the performance between her and Caleb reaches its climax.
연인의 운명적 죽음을 예견한 뒤 여신은 마지막에 소용없는 저항을 하러 왔다.
I've forgotten the plot of their story. Like this play, the story within the play. Having foreseen her lover's inevitable death, the goddess has arrived to stop it. Alas, it will be her last futile attempt. Never mind. I remember now. I remember it now. Oh god. Who dresses like this and goes out hunting? Like, who does this? It's so hard to get through this. I just can't stop laughing. Okay, you would rather love that treacherous, unpredictable forest? I offered my everything to you.
저는 사랑에 삼켜져 그림자조차 남지 않은 그런 건 원치 않습니다.
I don't want a love that will devour me until not even a shadow remains. His tone should have been resolute and cold, yet she can hear the boiling emotions he's trying to suppress. The chains rattling alone would scare away the I know! Why are his nipples out? Why does he have a barcode? Did barcodes exist back then? I'm just saying, there was a vibe they were maybe trying to go with here, but the details don't make sense. She touches his chest. I'm not interested in vague responses. I only want one answer from you. Do you love me? Oh my god. Oh my god. He stares at her, and his heartbeat that's under her palm feels real and hot. Yet before she kisses him, he turns away.
난 당신께 입 맞출 수 없습니다.
I can't kiss you. Cause you're
저는
related?
차라리 당장 야수의 송곳니를 마주 보겠습니다.
I'd
적어도
rather
그때는 비록 내가 죽더라도 나는 여전히 나로 남을 테니까요.
I'd rather face the beast's fang head on. Even if I must welcome death, it shall be done as myself.
사냥꾼은 창을 들었고 그의 결심은 이미 굳어져 있었다.
It's even worse up close, yeah. I'm also just like, there's a reason that, like, you don't book the same role as your siblings for plays, like the same, roles opposite each other. Oh my god. The kingdom knows they're related, right? Who allowed this? Maybe it doesn't matter here. Maybe it's like in the olden days, like... The hunter grabs his spear, his determination unwavering.
여신은 알았다. 자유와 사랑의 논쟁 속에서 자신이 이미 패했다는 것을.
Maybe they don't think inbreeding is bad yet.
그녀는 그를 놓아주기로 결심했다.
The goddess realizes that in the debate between freedom and love, she has been defeated. She decides to set him free. Caleb turns his back, and his figure disappears into the shadows. The lights go out. In the silent darkness, a beast's roar prophetically resounds. The lights return, and fangs have actually pierced Caleb's chest. Wait, actually? Warm blood covers her hand. She's momentarily stunned.
여신이 급히 왔지만 그녀가 찾은 것은 차가운 연인의 몸뿐이었다. 그녀의 사랑도 권력도 죽음 앞에서는 무의미했다.
Imagine he actually dies. That's the plot of a music video. The goddess arrives only to find her lover's cold corpse. Her love and her power are meaningless in the face of death.
그리하여 달콤한 꿀은 불타는 덕으로, 풍요로운 선물은 영원한 저주로 바뀌었다.
Sweet honey transforms into a fiery poison. A gift of abundance turns into an eternal curse. Warm ketchup.
그녀는 키스로 저주했다. 세상의 사랑은 영원히 상실과 함께할 것이라고.
Her curse is cast with a kiss. In this world, love shall forever be accompanied by loss. Wait, why is this the place she chose to represent her coronation? Like, I don't understand. With love and hatred tinged in desperation, she lowers her head to kiss those cold lips. Now your kiss belongs to me. This kingdom is bizarre. The performance ends and the curtain falls. They're separated from the thunderous applause. Behind the curtain, Caleb and she look at each other in silence until his warm fingers touch the corner of her eyes.
정말 오랜만에 네가 우는 걸 보네.
It's been a really long time since I've seen you cry. The moisture on her cheeks disappears under his gentle touch, but she turns her head and moves away from his fingers. She composes herself. With a gentle smile, she raises her head. Maybe they were tears of joy. After all, I almost lost a formidable opponent.
그럼 다시 한번 해봐도 돼.
Then you're welcome to try again.
하지만 나는 죽임 당하기 전에 아쉬움을 남기고 싶지는 않아.
But before I die, I don't want to leave with any regrets. He pulls her waist closer and a kiss consumed in burning passion descends. Oh! Oh, he did it! Zayne didn't go that far. It's brief, yet when their gazes meet, the emotions in his eyes seemingly last a long time. Their intertwined breaths separate. For a moment, she can't tell whose heart is racing. Are they still on the stage? Are they still kissing on the stage? Wait, what's happening? She pushes him away and takes several steps back. Caleb, the play has ended. Getting lost in your role isn't a good thing.
무대 아니든 밖이든 난 한 번도 헷갈렸던 적 없어.
I've always known... I've never been confused between reality and the stage, Gina. I would like to invite our esteemed Empress. A voice from offstage reaches their ears. They're pulled back into the present. But Caleb takes her hand.
커튼콜 시간이네.
It's time for the curtain call.
가자.
Let's go.
적어도 막이 내리기 전까지
Until the curtain
우린
falls,
함께 엔딩을 향해 걸어갈 사람이니까.
we can walk towards the we can walk together towards the end. Okay. Ah, it jumps right into it. I didn't need that extra key. Okay, good. Or maybe my brain just doesn't want to be here. Because this story is wild. Oh, the play concludes. Afterwards, she's so busy that she barely has a moment to breathe, and she hasn't seen Caleb since. On the day of the coronation ceremony, she finds herself wanting to see him. What's he gonna be dressed in this time? Okay. I see the connection. Yeah, that's true. That's probably why I suddenly thought about, When she finds Caleb, he's reading. He doesn't appear to be surprised when he sees her.
여왕폐하께서 대관식 때문에 바빠서 그림자도 보이지 않던데. 대관식 당일에 웬일로 나 찾아왔어?
Your Majesty has been busy with the preparations for the coronation. No one could find you even if they tried. I'm curious, why are you visiting me on the day you wear the crown? Oh, also, it's funny. Sorry, this is really random, but funny that you mentioned Kea, although maybe you did that on purpose, right? Because this is Kea's voice actor.
긴장돼?
Are you nervous? No. This has been set in stone for a long time. Why should I be nervous? She lifts her chin slightly. He reaches out and his warm palm envelops her hand.
그럼 추워서 손이 이렇게 차가운가 보네.
So it
외투를
must
한
be
벌 더
because you're
찾아봐야겠어.
cold. Or it's cold that your hands are freezing. I should find you a coat. Caleb. The unease in her heart disappears, but she doesn't want to show the change he caused. I'm here to visit you, and all I get is a joke or two?
그러면 안 되겠지.
You mentioned him because of that
그럼
one...
지금 준비해봐. 대관식에서 제국이 연방에 귀속되었다고 선언해도 아직 늦지 않아.
You mentioned him because of that one Genshin story of his where he got on stage and changed the script mid-play. Ah, okay. That's true. That was in his, what's it called? Hangout. It's not too late to prepare an announcement. During your coronation, the Imperial citizens will learn that the Empire belongs to the Federation. He's gonna get slapped.
하기 싫으면 나한테 맡겨도 되고.
Then if you don't want to do it, you can leave it to me. She scoffs, takes back her hand, and hits the book he's holding. The High Marshal should focus on reading. We'll have plenty of time in the future. Oh my god. At last the coronation ceremony begins. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, she stands on the steps covered in red carpet. The magnificent yet heavy crown is placed upon her head. I, Gina, swear to defend the Empire's territory and glory until I breathe my last. The weight of the crown presses down on every word she speaks. Her gaze meets Caleb's from across the room. This is the 4th time it's happened since the coronation ceremony began. You've been watching me all along. As if he... Well, yeah, it's your day. Who else would he be watching? As if he can hear her thoughts, he makes eye contact with her whenever she looks in his direction. Then keep looking. I know you'll always be by my side. The role you'll play doesn't matter. What? Jail for Caleb. The coronation ceremony ends and the celebration begins in the magnificent banquet hall. Amidst the music, Caleb and she stand at the center to begin the first dance.
즐거워?
Are you happy? It shouldn't be a surprise. He chuckles softly and a cool sensation travels from their hands to settle around her wrist. She looks down to find a bracelet that's brilliantly sparkling. This is for me? Shackles.
은 티타늄 수정 광석을 세공한 팔찌야.
Yes, it's carved and polished from silvery titanium crystals.
저번에 갖고 싶다고 했잖아.
You said you wanted it before. Her thoughts returned to that evening's banquet. The statement was nothing more than a test. Caleb, can you give me anything I want?
내 대답이 중요해?
Is my answer important?
넌 이미 진짜 제국의 여왕이 되었고
You're already a real
원하는
empress.
건 뭐든 다 가질 수 있잖아.
You can have whatever you desire. She's about to speak, but she's guided into doing a spin, then she settles back into his embrace. But even with her boundless divine power, the goddess still couldn't win the hunter's heart. Their steps move in sync. Always close, they advance and retreat.
너는 욕망에 휘둘리는 여신이 아니고
You aren't a goddess blinded by
나도
desire.
운명에 아무런 저항도 하지 않는 사냥꾼이 아니야.
And I'm not a hunter powerless against his
우리는
fate.
더 나은 결말을 갖게 될 거야.
We'll have a better ending.
우리만의 결말을.
Our own. As his words fall, the song concludes. The applause continues for a long time. Caleb's gaze slowly moves from her
내
crown,
마음속에서 넌
her
그
face.
어떤 신분이기 이전에 언제나 너야.
Before any title or role, you'll always be you. Another song starts to play, and the people pair up and step onto the dance floor. They're at the center of it.
나랑 한 곡 더 추지 않을래?
May I have another dance? Or will you dance another one with me? Something like that. Smiling, he looks at her. She tightly grasps his hand. Of course. They hold each other once more. The dance is as long as the time that belongs only to them. It will never end. That one was a lot more... I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. Figure it out from context. Anyway, we finished. Flirty, yeah. Yeah, I guess like a bit more positive, right? Ended with a kiss. There was a kiss. Yeah, that was weird. I don't know between the two AUs, this one and the one with the one where they were kind of zombie werewolves, whatever. I don't know which was weirder. I feel like the laws of this empire or like the customs are just so bizarre that like my brain can't wrap itself around it. So maybe that's why I'm just like struggling. But like somehow I feel this one is weirder.